Hi Vidya.
Hi Varsha.
So, in today's episode 2 of the Bangalore Girls, let's talk about something that revolutionized India, that is the retail industry with the emergence of quick commerce like Blinkit, Zepto, Instamart.
Yeah, right. So these are terms that we have been hearing quite a few times, and there's always this term that has been associated, as you said, that is quick commerce.
Yeah.
So we'll dive into what is quick commerce, how it works, why is it so famous in India and not that much that you've heard in abroad countries.
Yeah, like let's understand why it worked in India, or it is working in India but failing in other countries.
Right.
And also the market here in India is about to cross 5.5 billion dollars in India for this year 2024.
Right, right. So let's dive into that and also the consequences that humankind should be facing with this emerging quick commerce. And also on the other side of the green land, we can also speak about the opportunities that has been given to the common man as well.
I know,
Uh,
like how common man can make money by collaborating with these industries like Blinkit and Zepto, and also how is it affecting the local Kirana stores? Is
right.
it really affecting, or is it a myth? Let's break it down.
Yeah. And also that, as fancy as it looks for any startup, it's not always that fancier in the front side of it. So let's dive into what happens back of the scene on how is it showcasing itself. So let's dive into that as well.
And the question is, are these companies really making profit, or are they just burning the cash
Right.
of investors?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So before we understand about all of these, let's talk about how did it even originate? Like where did it originate from?
Right. So basically, as the pandemic started in 2019 and 2020, so that's when people were unable to go out of the house, and that's when they thought that the daily needs that they want is something that needs to be delivered at their doorstep, and that was the only option that they had. And that's when this one step towards the revolution started, where people started ordering groceries online, and for the fact that Dunzo was the first one to enter this market as well, called as quick commerce, which is not very famous at that time because people didn't know what Dunzo does. But this main step that started was from the pandemic, and for the fact that there were many single household members that was seen a lot during the pandemic, as obvious reasons, because people was far apart and then they were
Yeah, the
stuck in
quarantine and
the
yeah.
quarantine part of it. And that's when they saw that the online shopping for smaller quantities increased, and also the demand was increasing. So basically there was repeated ordering of the same item, and that's when they thought that, okay, so what if I have stores near those houses where they order the groceries, and it might be small quantity that they'll be ordering, but there'll be a repeated demand for the same product. And that's when they thought that, okay, fine, let me have stores like this. And that's where Zepto and Blinkit actually started off thinking that this can be a new revolution, this can be a new, a big thing that can happen.
Yeah, I think Grofers identified that very early. Like then it was converted into Blinkit. But then nowadays Zepto has come into picture where it's raised millions of dollars of funding, and I think this is the future, but we got to see what happens.
Right, and also a new thing that's come up now, that Zepto has become the most funded startup ever in 3 years. So I think this is something to bloom, and there's something, fishy, or it can be something revolutionary as well.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
think both the combination of it's something that will happen, and for the fact that Amazon has also entered this race, as well as
Yeah.
Myntra.
Yeah.
So Amazon has launched something. It's code name called Tez, and Myntra as M Now, which they promised to deliver their products in 30 minutes, which was used to take about 1 to 2 days. Now they'll be delivering in 30 minutes. So it's something that people are entering into this race, and it's emerging.
Yeah, I think another reason, like I find this study very interesting as to why quick commerce like Zepto and Blinkit is working in India and it's failing in abroad countries. For example, quick commerce is not an Indian thing. It's not that it started in India. It is
Right.
booming in India, but it initially started in Germany,
Okay.
where Gorillas, right, the
Right.
company where they started this quick commerce thing, but they failed. They had to shut down in 2020. But understanding the reasons, I feel it very valid. So why I think in India it works is, so in India we are in a clustered area. Like what I mean is, in many cities, take Bangalore, take Mumbai, there are more number of people in less area. But in abroad countries, each house is like very far located.
You're telling like the countryside type.
Yeah, it's more like India's towns, like how they're located in those cities as well. It's not like very clustered like India. So with this, what happens is you can cater the needs of a lot of people because they are in less areas. You need like less warehouses.
Right.
One warehouse in India might, okay, take an example, it will serve like 500 houses. But in abroad, maybe it serves only like 80 houses, 100
Okay.
houses.
Okay.
So that's a high profit or a viable thing that will work in India.
Okay.
Yeah. So clustering part is the main advantage why quick commerce is working in India. Secondly, I think it's the
Cost?
cost of the
Okay.
delivery agents. Like it's easier to have people on board as a delivery agent because in India there's already lack of jobs and people want to do side hustles. Students, there are so many students who go to college in the day and evening they come back and they do these gigs so that they earn that extra money.
Correct.
Yeah. So I think that's easy over here. I think the third point why quick commerce is working in India because you can actually collaborate with the local Kirana stores, but it doesn't work in abroad because they have these huge supermarkets. You don't have Kirana stores everywhere in every road.
Yeah,
right?
you
But
don't have it like India. Yeah.
In India, you have like 10 and 10 roads.
Yeah, correct.
Right.
You have uncles and aunties you already know.
Yeah. So collaborating with them is a lot more easier. So I think that's another reason why quick commerce works in India.
Okay.
And also why it doesn't work abroad. We understood that the population density is less abroad. Second of all, it's because people over there prefer work-life balance. So in India, they are okay to work after 6 p.m. Work as a
Correct.
delivery agent. But in India, that's how it works. But in abroad, after 6 p.m., they want to spend time with their family.
Right.
They're
And
not being exploited. But in India, they are okay to being exploited.
I think, yeah, that is the one point that they're okay to be exploited. Second thing is, I think the whole system works like that. The system is so okay in letting them work for, not even 9 to 5, it's like 9 to 9.
Yeah.
You
yeah.
know, so abroad people are a little bit constrained about that. I think it's something that you need to be throwing light to.
Yeah, and another thing is many people in India, people are preferring convenience over anything because you get the same cost or even lesser online. So why do you want to go offline? That's one thing. But in abroad, I think people still want to go for those weekend shopping trips with their family.
And
Yeah.
also adding a little bit light to what you said. So basically, Amazon was again, in terms of e-commerce, it was quite late in the race. Like Flipkart and Snapdeal, which is an Indian company, they entered in the market. But Amazon being a foreign company, they weren't much into believing that Indian people would adapt to the digitalization of it, and also for the fact that they had to bring COD. Okay, cash on delivery. So again, it was something of an extra cost that they need to pay. And also thinking about the orthodox, they believed a lot that Indians are a little bit traditional and they won't be able to adapt it quite well. But when they saw Flipkart and Snapdeal entering into the market and then seeing that, wow, Indian people actually adapted to it, they came forward and learned something different. So when they saw that people are adapting to it, that's when Amazon thought, okay, fine, I'll come. So basically, Flipkart was launched in 2007 and Snapdeal at 2010. So if you see, and Amazon 2013. So if you see the difference, there's like 6 years of difference. But now in the quick commerce, era of it, like Amazon is quite ahead in this race where they're like, okay, fine, I'm gonna, come into the race and have my own quick commerce platform. So I think, and that as well, and for the fact that Amazon did think a little bit back then because there's some policy in India called as FDI, basically foreign direct investment. So this doesn't allow any foreign company to come and have their own inventory in India. So inventory in the sense, have their own products, have a manufacturing area and sell it directly to the buyers. So this new kind of seller to the buyer connection. So as foreign companies can't have that, that's why even like Amazon a little bit thought about should we launch it or no. But this quick commerce is going very well. I think they're going ahead with it. Yeah.
I think that's why they are launching their new app.
Yeah.
And also, I think Dunzo was the earliest to start off,
Right.
but they are failing
I guess in
right now.
2016, right?
Yeah, 2015 or 16.
Yeah.
But they are failing because they expanded their services. Like Blinkit, they highlighted on groceries, Zepto groceries, and now they're expanding into electronics and things. I think Dunzo expanded too early. I don't know if they were ready to do it, be it operation wise, be it functional wise.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Expanding at a very early time might have led to their downfall.
Correct. But we shouldn't forget the fact that they let the, that generational thing
Yeah,
for
yeah,
quick commerce.
yeah,
Maybe they'll come back.
yeah,
Come back more stronger.
yeah,
Never know.
yeah.
So summing this all up, one curious thing is how these things work. Like e-commerce, how it works, but quick commerce works a little bit differently than the e-commerce part. So how it works is you have as you have a mother warehouse where basically the seller brings his products to some big warehouse, which is about certain kilometers, a lot of kilometers, which is almost in the middle of a city, and then from there is where your packages have been given to the buyers, and this usually takes about 1 to 2 days. But here in quick commerce, as we said, that the products which you ordered is going to be delivered in 30 minutes. So how this happens is the mother warehouse that you have is it's like you're breaking it down and throwing into nearby neighborhoods. So it's like 2 to 3 kilometers far away from the customers is where you'll have the small warehouses. You also call it as dark stores. So those are dark stores where you have. So here what happens is, as we said, that Zepto and Blinkit have their own inventory model. So inventory model, in the sense, they have a manufacturing center, they have their own stations where they have their products. It's not like they get it from the sellers. Now they usually integrating with doing the partnership with the sellers, but usually they have their own basically inventory model. So usually they those dark stores is where it's been thrown onto small neighborhoods, which is about 2 to 3 kilometers away from the customers. So there is the stock. Now when the user actually goes on and orders some product, now the one thing that on the back end part of it which clicks is the AI. So AI and machine learning is something which is blooming. And also one thing is that they depend a lot on the forecasting technologies, where they see in winter which one is blooming. So suppose in winter is something that cold drinks don't go much well, but the same thing is very high demand in summer seasons. So that's when they know that, okay, these are the kind of stocks they need to bring because they're in high demand. So during winters, during summer, so that's how they categorize using weather conditions as well. So using all these techniques is how they work.
I think this is where machine learning actually plays a major role
Right.
in inventory management.
When it comes to the inventory part of it, they use AI and machine learning, which again is used for predictions to see if someone is buying milk. There's an alternative that they can buy bread as well. So to see this kind of relationship, they use the AI and machine learning. So this is kind of something that they do, and this is the procedure that most of the quick commerce and even e-commerce to a very large extent use this technologies.
I think it's really nice how quick commerce is adapting technology to reduce the waste disposal. Let's compare quick commerce apps like Blinkit and Zepto with the local Kirana stores and how they're doing better or worse.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, in terms of sustainability, the quick commerce people, they are doing a good job with their waste disposal, because when you speak about goods, there are two types of goods. One is a perishable and one is a non-perishable. Perishable are your milk. It will be gone after 1 or 2 days, right?
And leafy.
Yeah,
structures.
leafy the vegetables and fruits and all of these things. So inventory management is really important, otherwise it will go off waste. And these tech giants like Zepto and Blinkit, they have reduced the waste disposal to 1%, whereas Kirana stores are still at the rate of 5%. So they bring in 100 apples, 5 apples will be gone to waste. But in Zepto, 1 apple will be gone to waste.
Correct. They have very high adaptability.
Yeah, so although quick commerce is doing a good job, there is a downside. That is, we are losing a personal touch of things.
Correct.
Imagine you are new to Bangalore, okay? So the first person you will speak is not your neighbors, but a Kirana store owner.
Yeah.
You'll go ask him for milk, right? And then you will learn some of the new languages, new words in that language, because somebody else next to you will be speaking about something, and then you'll catch those words, and you will sense things, right?
Correct.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a way to learn a new language. Kirana stores are one of the ways to learn. And
Right.
also, it's about learning about new experiences because the Kirana store uncle might tell you something new. He'll be like, okay, you're new here, maybe go to this park close by for your walks,
Correct.
right?
Yeah.
But now you won't even know the name of your delivery person who
Correct.
delivers groceries to your house. I
Right.
think we are losing that personal.
Exposure as well. So we used to have a lot of exposure when,
Yeah.
we were. So when you randomly just come and you just talk to him for like 2 to 3 hours, he feels like, okay, fine, come, we'll have coffee at our house. Come meet
Yeah.
my daughter, meet my son.
Yeah,
So just to
yeah.
have that inclusiveness.
Yeah.
And also, the Kirana store will know what I want to buy even without telling before.
Yeah.
They'll be like, come, this is there, and I want to get
Yeah.
any chips. You used to keep my favorite flavor as well, telling that I know you're going to get this. So this kind of, that emotion is something that we will definitely miss in the
Yeah.
coming days, I feel.
Yeah. And have you heard about this news where people, like Instagram post told that so many lakhs of or thousands of Kirana stores are shut in India because of quick commerce like Blinkit and Zepto.
Correct.
But the reality is something different. These stores are shutting not because of quick commerce. They might have a slight effect, but not a adverse effect because Blinkit especially is collaborating with Kirana stores.
But I think it is a little bit in a less percentage way that they are
Yeah,
collaborating. But maybe you'll see a lot of scope in the future.
in the future. I think, yeah, Kirana stores plus technology, it's gonna be a revolution.
And also for the controversial statement that Zepto founders gave, telling that they will create more job opportunities than the Indian Railways. So I think let's see how it opens up to new doors for
Yeah,
people.
yeah. Talking about the opportunities, as a common man, even we can make use of these tech giant success. How? Firstly, we can invest by collaborating with their dark stores. Imagine you have a piece of land, you can collaborate with them saying that okay, you can have your dark store at my place, and the initial investment is there, but apart from that, if you know your locality is at a good population density and if it has the potential to make good profit with quick commerce, I think it's the best way you can give out your place that you have
And
to
also
collaborate.
for right, and also for the for a good point here is that the dark stores usually have a square feet about what do you say, like 1,000 or 2,000. It's not like very much as a big house warehouse. So it's more like dark store. So you need smaller area. So even that can be something like a consideration when you're getting your own stores. So that can be a
Yeah.
plus point. And second part also, it can be that, so there's a lot of inventory jobs that you might want when you have a lot of machinery things that's going on at each neighborhood. Then there are more opportunities for inventory jobs. So I think even that is one opportunity that people can look forward to.
Yeah, logistics section will grow rapidly because of quick commerce.
Right.
And also inventory management systems. If you are good at technology, building applications which are driven by machine learning and artificial intelligence, if you have a great idea, go pitch it, go to hackathons or something, pitch these, and these can be used by these giants.
Correct. Right.
As we already spoke about, many people are getting side hustles because of apps like Blinkit and Zepto.
But also we shouldn't forget the fact that, as we said, that quick commerce is not like a 9 to 5 job. So people need to hustle, they have that pressure telling that okay, I need to be delivering in 10 minutes to the customer. So that can be something like a pressure that can happen on a human. So I think that is one thing that it's a little bit concerning.
Yeah, I think we need to find ways to make it more sustainable.
Yeah.
How to do it, we don't know that yet,
Yeah.
but we got to do it.
Yeah. I think managing it well is something that we can do.
Yeah.
So I think we need to throw light on also how it's going to influence the people. It might be in the form of purchasing items. So basically, when in the e-commerce section, any product that you at least see reviews for it. You see the original pic coming that okay, have the original pic. I can see, and then you at least spend about 20 to 30 minutes in ordering something. But the same thing when it comes to the quick commerce, you see here what is happening is the convenience is overpowering cost. So you're not minding it much because of your convenience. So that's when even if the products is a little bit costly, and also for the fact that delivery charges are more. So if you put 30 rupees off it and the product is like 20 rupees, you don't mind buying it. But it's not the same on the e-commerce platforms. You think, why should I give 50 rupees for an Oreo biscuit? But the same thing on quick commerce will be like, it's fine.
Yeah,
For
because
this
you're getting it quickly.
You're getting it quickly. So I think here is where there's a slight change.
Yeah.
And it's influenced the people or not. And for the fact that 50% of the people are shifting their 1/4 of the purchase of groceries as well. So this is a
Through
very
quick
huge,
commerce.
yeah, through quick commerce. This is a very rapid shift that you see in a very small period of time.
Yeah.
So I think that's something which is influenced like a rapid. So people are very fluctuating. Today they'll adapt the quick commerce and tomorrow they might feel like, no, e-commerce was better than that. So I think the fluctuation is something a little bit tricky. Yeah.
Yeah. And in the coming days, because of quick commerce, attention span of people is going to reduce by a lot. With reels, already our attention span is reduced, and with quick commerce, we will stop thinking about purchases.
Right.
We will buy it impulsively, even if we don't want it. Suppose we ordered something for 150 rupees and for above 199 you'll get free delivery. So you will add something that even if you don't want it, you will be adding it.
Right, correct.
Yeah.
Correct. But ultimately it is benefiting them. More than you.
Yeah. And also what happens is in quick commerce, you spend like 15-20 minutes, as you're told, in buying something. Suppose I want to buy boat headphones, I will check all of the reviews. 3 stars, I'm not going to buy it until unless it's above 4 stars.
4.9.
Yeah, and you will compare it with all of the other sellers.
Correct.
But quick commerce will not give you that opportunity.
Right. There's much sellers.
Yeah, it creates a sense of urgency in you.
Mm-hmm.
That you simply buy it anyways.
Right, you buy it anyways.
Yeah, and now speaking about these startups, Zepto, Blinkit, they look very fancy, but the thing is, are they really making profit? Because as of now, they are not making profit. They are operational.
Also for the fact that, as I mentioned, the startup is not as fancy as they look. There's a lot of things that happens behind. So startup usually needs to raise funding as well. And at the end of the thing, they raise so much funding that they have very less equity of the business. So I've always got a lesson in business saying that raise funds only when you need it. Okay, but usually startup, why you see many startup coming to end, right? So this is the main kind of reason that happens, because they raise so much fund, they don't even have a count of how many funds they actually need, and they come up to raising it so much, then they just burn it with a very casual way. Like either they increase the stipend or the salaries for the employers, or just randomly,
spending unnecessarily.
Yeah, spending unnecessarily. Ultimately, there's no profit that you get out of it. So the profit margin is so less, and then ultimately the startup comes to an end.
Yeah, I think with companies like Zepto, we really want to see in the coming years if they are really profitable or are they simply burning the cash of investors.
Right.